Breaking news: Social Security will change forever on September 30th, courtesy of President Donald Trump. Seniors, retirees, and disabled Americans need to pay close attention because what's coming at the end of this month could directly affect your benefits, your payments, and even how you receive your money. At the same time, millions are also asking an important question. Look at this. What happens to Social Security and other services if the government shuts down in October? This is creating confusion and fear across the country because seniors rely on these monthly checks as their lifeline. Before we dive into the details, I only ask for a quick favor. Take 1 second to hit that like button. It really helps the channel and keeps you updated on critical benefit changes. Trump's executive order and September 30th deadline. So let's not wait and get straight to the details. Look at this. Social Security will change forever on September 30th, courtesy of President Donald Trump. Earlier this year, President Trump signed not only a significant bill, but also an executive order that reshapes how Social Security payments will be managed going forward. One of the biggest changes is the end of paper checks. That's right, starting September 30th, anyone who still receives their Social Security benefits by traditional paper mail will see that method phased out. Instead, electronic transfers, direct deposits, or government-backed debit cards will become the new standard. Why is this happening? The administration argues it will save money, speed up payments, and reduce fraud. And they're not wrong. Paper checks are slower, more expensive, and more vulnerable to theft. But here's the challenge. While 92% of recipients are already on direct deposit, about 500,000 Americans, around 8%, still depend on paper checks. These individuals are facing what I call Judgment Day at the end of the month. If you fall into that group, you must act quickly. Open a bank account or request the Direct Express debit card, which works like a prepaid debit card funded by the SSA each month. Failing to do so means you risk losing access to your benefits after September 30th. Now, there are 2 exemptions. If you live in an area without access to banking services, or if you suffer from a severe medical condition that prevents you from opening and managing a bank account. Only under these special circumstances will you be allowed to keep receiving checks. The bigger picture of Social Security to fully understand this change, let's step back for a moment. In July, Social Security doled out traditional benefits to nearly 70 million combined, retired workers, workers with disabilities, and survivors of deceased workers. That's nearly 1 in 5 Americans who rely on this program every single month. And here's the key point. President Donald Trump signed an executive order in March to modernize Social Security payments, which will permanently change the program. This is not just a temporary tweak, it's a permanent shift in how the system operates. Supporters say this modernization will strengthen Social Security and prepare it for the future. Critics worry it could be the first step toward even more sweeping changes that might cut benefits or alter eligibility. That's why staying informed is critical. Social Security isn't static. Now, let's address something many people misunderstand. But Social Security isn't static. Although the Social Security Act requires 60 votes in the upper house of Congress to effect major changes, various adjustments are made to the program by the Social Security Administration, SSA, on a near-annual basis. Think about that for a second. People assume Social Security never changes, but in reality, it changes all the time. Cost of living adjustments, new payment rules, garnishment updates, and now this big move away from paper checks. And remember, Donald Trump's inauguration for his second, not consecutive term a little over 7 months ago, a flurry of changes to the Social Security program were announced. These include not just the modernization order, but also adjustments to garnishment rules and new enforcement policies around overpayments. The overpayment crisis. Here's another change you need to know about. The SSA is cracking down on overpayments. If the administration determines that you were overpaid in the past, you could lose up to half of your current benefits until the debt is repaid. For millions of seniors who already live on fixed incomes, this is devastating. Imagine depending on your Social Security check for rent, groceries, and medication, and then suddenly receiving only half of it. That's why it's so important to review your records, check for errors, and respond immediately if you receive a notice from the SSA. Acting quickly could save you from losing your lifeline. Government shutdown fears. Now let's address the other big concern on everyone's mind. What happens to Social Security and other services if the government shuts down in October? The possibility of a shutdown is growing as Congress continues to fight over spending bills. When Washington gridlocks, federal workers get furloughed, agencies shut their doors, and many programs pause. But here's the good news. Social Security payments will still go out. Why? Because Social Security is funded through a trust system, not the yearly budget process. Since the program began, not a single Social Security check has ever been missed because of a government shutdown. Even during past shutdowns, payments have continued to be delivered, sometimes even early if holidays interfere with the schedule. So, while the shutdown may affect other services, like passport offices, national parks, and certain government assistance programs, Social Security checks will keep coming. Seniors do not need to worry about losing their monthly payments because of political gridlock. Why digital payments are the future? The SSA gave 3 big reasons why digital payments are replacing paper checks. Cost savings. Electronic transfers are far cheaper than printing, mailing, and securing physical checks. Faster delivery. With direct deposit, funds are available almost instantly instead of waiting days for the mail. More security. Digital payments are harder to lose or steal compared to paper checks. While it may feel like an inconvenience to those who prefer the old-fashioned way, these reasons show why the government is pushing forward with this modernization. What you should do now if you're a senior, a retiree, or a person with disabilities. Here's what you need to do before September 30th. If you're still receiving paper checks, switch to direct deposit or the Direct Express debit card immediately. If you think you qualify for an exemption due to health or geographic reasons, contact the SSA as soon as possible. Keep an eye on your mail for any overpayment notices. Don't ignore them, because doing nothing could cost you half your benefits. Stay updated, because more changes are coming under the Trump administration. Things are changing quickly for seniors, retirees, and disabled Americans. That's why here at Allies USA, I bring you daily updates so you never miss a critical change. Make sure to subscribe, click the bell icon, and share this with anyone who relies on Social Security. And if you want to discover tips and strategies to legally maximize your SSI, SSDI, and retirement benefits, check the description below for my ebook. It's packed with useful advice that could put extra money in your pocket every month. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and stay safe.